Hey everyone, this is Paulina on the Finnish Path, and welcome to my series of sample readings. I use a lot of spreads, and I thought that perhaps you would like to see how I actually interpret each spread. Today we will be looking at a relationship spread that is called How to Move On. Here we go. We'll start with the shuffling, as always. Now, How to Move On spread, this is a 4-card spread, and this spread answers questions regarding, well, how to move on. I mean, when a relationship has ended and you feel stuck and you don't know how to let go and how to move on. And also this spread shows us what is stopping us from moving on, and also if we should actually not do that, if we should persevere, try again. So this is, even though it is only just 4 cards, this is a very precise tool, this spread. Okay, I think we are here. Now I'll make a fan. I don't actually really need to make a fan. I always take the cards from the top of the deck, but I just like the way the fan looks. It's pretty. Okay, here we go. So 4 cards, and the first card is the root of the issue here. Okay, well, great, we got the Tower. And then number 2 is what is stopping us from moving on. There we go. This is 4 of Wands. And then number 3 is what will help us to move on. Swords, number 8. And then crossing is why we perhaps should not let go. There we go. That's Pentacles, number 8. Now, I'm not doing this spread for, or this reading for any actual person. This is just a sample. I won't be doing a real reading, if you like. There is no actual person this reading is for. I will just be showing you how I read this spread, how it all works together. Now, first of all, I usually look at all the cards on the table, and I look at the numbers of the cards if there is any repetition, like for example here there are 2 8 cards, Pentacles and Swords. And then also there's a Major Arcana card, a really powerful one. And this happens to be in the root of the question, position number 1. So this is a major, well, would be a major problem for the person I am reading for. That this is no trivial matter. This is really, life-altering and serious. And regarding these number 8s, 2 8s, 8 is about action and creating things. So there's a lot of action going on this table, on this spread. And then I also look at the overall picture with the suits. And what really strikes me here is that there are 3 suits. There's wands, pentacles and swords, but no cups. And yet we are talking about a relationship reading. So where's the emotion? This has got to do with something other than just simple emotion and love and feelings. Interesting. Okay, and then I move on to, after all this general kind of information, I move on to the individual positions. And first one we'll be tackling is the Tower. And this is the root of the issue right here. So this position, first of all, can have to do with which area of life this situation refers to, and how, in which area of our life this situation affects. And this has to do with what the effect in our life is right now, right at this moment. And looking at this particular card now, I mean, well, major effect, obviously. And then how the person in question feels about this situation. And well, quite obviously, they are absolutely devastated. They are suddenly seeing the world in a completely different light. And I would tell them that it's quite obvious that the camera is wobbling because my familiar Luru is taking an interest in the reading. Okay, I'm being kissed right now. Sorry about that. Well, no, I'm not sorry about that. Doggy kisses are always a good thing. Yeah. Mr. Nose. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I would tell this person that this situation is causing them a real upheaval, internal upheaval. They are things seem to be falling apart for them right now, and things they trusted and thought were solid are now suddenly crumbling because of this relationship that ended. So this is a major thing, and they really seriously need to focus on this situation. And that, I can see that it's really difficult for them. It is difficult for them to focus because the upheaval is so strong. I mean, they are changing from within. Actually, I'm kind of happy that this reading is not for a real person. Okay, so that was the root of the issue. And then the number 2, position number 2. Here we go, this one. Nice card. Wands number 4, and the number 2 position was about what is stopping this person from moving on, and it shows why it is so hard for them to let go, and what is their excuse for holding on, even though the relationship is already over. So, but they are still trying to hold on, and why is that? And what is it that they need to release? All of that can be read in this one card. And Wands, again, is about action. It's about doing things in practical life, not just planning or thinking, but doing. Yet again, we see this Wands is action, and these 2 8s are action. So there's a lot for this person to be done. I mean, things are depending on their actions. And number 4 is about stability and balance, and yes, balance, and yeah, building strong foundations. And I would tell this person that the reason why it is so hard for them to let go is because they thought it was permanent. They thought that they had built a permanent, stable, secure place for this relationship. So that is what the loss of security is, what is holding them back, and that is what they are trying to hold on to also. Oh well, thinking about it, well, yeah, relationships often are about security. Okay, and then moving on to position number 3, right here. The card, it's a bit scary, looks scary, this card. It's Swords number 8. And this position number 3, was about what will help you move on. Well, this card doesn't look very helpful as such, but it is actually when we go right into it. But the things that you can see from this card is how to let go of the past, and what it is that this person needs to do in order to be able to let go and move on, and also what their attitude towards this situation should be. What kind of attitude would be helpful for them? That's all in this card. And the thing with the card here, as you can see, there is a figure who is tied, and their eyes are blindfolded, and there are swords, 8 swords around them. Now the thing is that this person is blindfolded, so they can't see that the swords are not actually in forming a circle or a cage around them, but they can walk away any time. The swords are not actually blocking their way, but this person can't see it. Very insightful, thinking about this particular situation and this poor, devastated person, because it really is all up to them. It is moving on is in their doing. That is what I would tell this fictitious person. I would tell them that you think you are trapped, but you are not. You can move on. And no, it's not easy. Well, We can very clearly see it is not easy, but it's well doable. And then the number 4, another 8 of Pentacles. This is the card, and the position was if there was a reason to hold on to this relationship, then what would that reason be? And what is this person getting right now, getting from not letting go of this relationship? And what is their attraction to the past? Well, there's a picture forming here with that one. And if there are any advantages or benefits to refusing to let go. Well, here's a bloke tinkering away happily. This card is about work in progress and about tenacity and patience and doing things actively, creating security. Now, this is kind of interesting connection here. These two cards, these are both about security and stability and all that. And what was stopping this person from moving on in the first place is mirrored here. It is security, and I would tell this person that if they do persevere, if they just decide that they will not give in yet, they will not give up yet, then it is possible, if they manage to get back together with this person, it is possible that this renewed relationship might prove to be stronger and more stable than the one they had so far. But the thing is that there are no guarantees, obviously. I mean, you can't force anyone to fall back in love with you. So you can't force them. But if you decide to try, it could end up in a more secure and stable relationship than it did before. Then, after the individual positions of this, interpreting the individual cards, then I look at the pairings. I already did that number 4 and number 2, because these were an obvious pairing here. But just thinking about the positions, I compare number 4 and number 1, their relationship. That was the root of the issue and the reason to kind of counteract this ongoing situation and not letting go. And then I would also compare number 2 and number 3, these two cards, and the positions where what is stopping you and what would help you. So looking at these cards, well, yes, at the moment the situation is really scary for this poor individual, fictitious person. So it is quite understandable that they would lean toward not letting go and trying to get back to that safe place. But the thing is, with this situation, I would tell this person that the thing with this situation is that if you do move on, if you don't try to cling to the past, then you will come out victorious. It will be really difficult, yes, and it already is, but you will come out victorious, and you will be a new person, and you will change. This is part of a growth process for you. And then number 2 and number 3, yes, what is stopping them, and what would help them to move on? The idea of the past, that it was secure, and here thinking that they are stuck even though they are not. So this is an interesting pairing as well. Right, so this is along the lines of how I would interpret this particular spread. Obviously, everything depends on the person I am doing the reading for, and the person these cards are for. This is just a sample. This is the technique I would use in interpreting this spread. But when there is an actual person there that I am reading for, then there's a lot more information that comes to me from and through these cards. I don't really know where it comes from. It comes from my Finnish heritage, but when I am reading to a person, I'm not just deciphering cards. Something else is going on there. So this is just a kind of a example of how I would technically start unraveling this spread. And as you can see, even though this is only 4 cards, and still when I start pulling this spread apart and start comparing different things, and the cards start interacting with each other, then there's a wealth of information that comes through. And even a 4 card reading can be a really in-depth and, well, deep reading, and give a lot of insight to the question at hand. Okay, so this was my sample reading for the How to Move On relationship spread. I will write all of this down, and I will go in probably in more detail, not about deciphering the cards and interpreting this particular spread, because this spread is for nobody. It is just a sample, but I will perhaps go in more detail in how I interpret all the information here on the table. I will write that down, and I will post it in my blog, so you can find it from there. And you can find my blog here in YouTube. You can find it through the top right hand side corner, and you can subscribe to my blog so that you get an email notification every time I post anything. And like I said, this is a series, so you can find all these readings. There will be others once a week. You can find all these readings by using the category spreads, tarot spreads category. So you can find all these different sample readings that way. And now I will publish the next sample reading a week from now. That's Wednesday, the 18th of April. And that one will also be about the relationship spread, another 4-card spread, in fact. And if you want to be notified, then do please subscribe to my YouTube channel. so that you know when this video is published. You can, by the way, you can subscribe really easily by clicking the icon in the screen. Actually, I think it's on the bottom right hand corner of this video. You can see my little logo there, and you can click it and subscribe. Really easy. Okay, but thank you for watching, and I hope you return next Wednesday, and have a lovely week. Okay, hey.